What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great morning. My name is Bleaves. This is Breakfast with Bleaves. We're here to talk about Bitcoin capital inflow might just rise with another continued Fed rate pause. The stats are in. We're going to check them out in just a few minutes. Also, Binance has expanded its investment into lobbying just before it entered a guilty plea with the SEC. Now, does that mean that Binance is here for the long haul? I get a sense that that probably is the case. I think that Binance is doing everything that it can right now to leverage its position to make sure that it stays in the U.S. market. It's not going anywhere. Binance.us is here to stay, and CZ is now off that board so that they can move forward, and Binance.USA or .us can rise from the ashes one more time. Also, Grayscale has updated its business agreement for the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust for the first time since 2018. What does that mean? Well, I got a feeling it means something big. And also, Terra Luna Classic and USTC continue to have little pumps. And guess what? Does that mean that the price is about to burn because the price is about to double? Because tomorrow, Binance is going to do what may just be the biggest burn that they've ever done of Luna Classic, because there is a lot of traffic going on in this ecosystem. This is not financial advice, but I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleav. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 It's been a long day. I mean a long week. Maybe a long year, so let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors later on. Tell everybody they're invited, you should come along. Best to bring your good foot. Ladies gonna be dancing on the ceiling, cocky and appealing, possibly revealing, getting sideways like a bridesmaid as she vibrate. If you a lightweight, hope you hydrate. We gon' tip the bottles back, busting out the fat sacks. People wearing costumes, chewing on a mushroom, something like a wonderland. Understand? Going down the rabbit hole with my kinfolk to another land. Damn, I said we do it like this. Magic carpet riders on some third eye shit. Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, guys, I hope that you are having a great day. I hope that everything good happens to you right now. We've got our data for today. The Fed did their WAM month-over-month number, and I'm not seeing anybody freaking out about it, but we did see a dip in the market. So, but that's to be expected. I didn't see any reason to think that anything is wrong in the market, anything is out of sorts in the market. It's just your standard, I'm a little Jeet pot, American. I've not met anything that I wouldn't sell off, kind of thing that always happens. As a matter of fact, we had a rip down to like 37,400 just a few moments ago. Massive sell-off happening, but really when you look back and you start to zoom back out, you're like, you know what, this is just a dip in the small dip in the radar. Once we start to pull up charts and once we start to pull everything up, then we're looking at it, we're like, whatever, you know. Are we ever going to see 33,000 again? I mean, it's starting to get weird, but let's talk about what is going on in the news, and then we'll let's do real quick here, personal Let's see what happened on our data here. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-da-da-da. Yeah, I don't see the PPI. Doesn't look like anybody even cares. I thought it was today. Isn't it today? Like it's 7:30 today. PPI comes out. I mean, but I don't see it yet. Like I haven't seen it at all. So we're going to talk about what is going on in the broader market right now. By the way, if you have not already, while I get this thing sorted out right now, for the love of Allah or whomever you think is awesome, go see Godzilla minus one. Godzilla minus one might be one of the most kick-ass movies that look, that for me, that's the action movie of the year. One of the greatest movies that I have seen in a very, very long time. Godzilla minus one, not just a heart-wrenching story, a tearjerker. It has all of the things you want, and it's got a giant monster. And look, when they're in wooden boats running from Godzilla in the ocean as Godzilla is ready to try and eat them, oh my God. Guys, do yourself a favor and go see Godzilla minus one. Now it's all in Japanese, so it's a subtitled movie, but it is worth it. It did remind me though, like it'd be kind of cool if instead of having all of the writing at the bottom of the show, it would be really cool. It would be really awesome if they did something just a little bit different with that. Like I kind of thought like it would be cool if they had like word bubbles coming out next to the person's head, because when you're at the movie and you're in IMAX, it's taking you away from watching the action by looking down at the bottom and reading it. If you don't speak Japanese, it would be better if they had word bubbles coming out from close to where the person is and using some of that newer technology, like CapCut or something like that, so that it's right next to the person's head. Anyway, just a thought. If anybody's in the TV industry or anything like that, but anyway, so Bitcoin capital inflow may rise with expected Fed rate pause in December. And now, it's exactly right, Diggy. First world problems. Bitcoin could see more capital inflow if the U.S. Federal Reserve pauses rates at its next meeting on December 13. We got 14 days for the next meeting. There's no anticipation of a pause in the Fed's interest rate hike, as indicated by Federal Reserve Governor Christopher. There is anticipation. I'm sorry. According to Christopher Waller, an interest rate pause could lead to more capital flowing into risk assets like Bitcoin. And guys, I got to tell you, my gas right now, $2.79. Walmart issuing statements saying that deflation is about to hit big time and that their prices are about to go down dramatically. We're going to start seeing something that we haven't seen in a long time. We're going to start to see we're going to start to see the value of your money going up in the short term. Are they doing it because it's near an election? I wonder. A little bit weird. And I'm not here for the conspiracy of that. I got plenty of conspiracies of my own, but it's a little weird that all of a sudden here we are about 1 year from an election, and all of a sudden Walmart's like, hey, as a matter of fact, we were just kidding about those high prices. Watch for falling prices, guys. So, and then all of a sudden, gas prices are starting to come down, even though, OPEC and all these guys are still like, we don't want to. We will not give you our oil or whatever ridiculous stuff that they say. So it looks like there could be a something interesting happening. So CODM in crypto says believes is turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. But we're not gonna do. We're gonna go ba da ba ba ba. Anybody know what that's from? Ha 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 ha. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Vapors, by the way, but I am a big fan of the Vandals. I am a big fan of the Descendants. I am a big fan of Bad Religion. I am a big fan of punk rock. As a matter of fact, if you saw my what's that stupid thing that if you saw my Spotify list, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, dude. Is that all you listen to is punk rock? Yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah, basically. I mean, this was my punk rock year, so yeah, I listened to punk rock all year, basically. So yeah, it was I think my list was Face to Face. I don't know. I don't even know if you guys know any of this music that I'm about to say here, but it was Face to Face. It was let's see. My number one artist was Bad Religion. My number two was Teenage Bottle Rocket. My number three was The Descendants. My number four was Face to Face, and my number five was All. And if you know anything about punk rock, if you know anything about punk rock, then you know that All and The Descendants are the same band with different lead singers. So yeah, there's that too. But in fact, if you guys want to check it out, and I'm not recommending that you check it out because you're not allowed to be always right like me. You just do the best you can to get along. But if you want to go check out the music that I listen to for the year, there you go, right there. Bad Religion, Teenage Bottle Rocket, Descendants, Face to Face, and I love heavy metal. I do listen to a lot of Whitechapel. I do listen to a lot of Killswitch Engage. I listen to a lot of Lamb of God. I listen to a lot of that. It's just when I'm in the background, it's basically punk rock music. And then my top songs of the year were Blind, which is a face-to-face song, No Control, which is Bad Religion, The World's on Heroin, which is an all song, Walk the Walk, which is another face-to-face song, and then Headbanger from Teenage Bottle Rocket. So there you go. And I listened for 112,501 minutes. That's a lot of punk rock. So, aha. So anyway, so now we're talking about the possibility of the money flowing into the market, and then this right here, Binance has expanded its investments into lobbying just before the guilty plea. And by the way, let me know: do you like punk rock? Is punk rock one of your things? Do you like it? If you don't like punk rock, tell me what kind of music you like in the comment section, because I would be interested to find out what some of you guys like. And if you start going, well, I like Dustin Lynch and stuff like that, let me tell you something. I walk around my place sometime singing I saw your mama at Walmart with your little girl. She had your eyes and your smile. She had your nose and your lips, and it drives people crazy. My son looks at me like I'm out of my mind because I'm walking around my house singing Sam Hunt Walmart the other day. Dead Milkman. Matter of fact, my first experience with Dead Milkman was You'll Dance to Anything. Which was I think that's like a B-side. I don't even think it was oh yeah, you know what it's God damn it. It was on a very early CD. And then of course Punk Rock Girl. Everybody loves Punk Rock Girl. But they were a very good kind of what do you call it? They were not a parody band, but they tried to find the funny stuff in everything. So I absolutely appreciate Dead Milkman. They were enjoying Danzig a little. So I don't like Danzig. I think Danzig is kind of a slow moving sort of doomy sound. Not a fan of that, but I love Sam Hain. Sam Hain from Glenn Danzig was my favorite early punk rock band. I like them even more than I like the Misfits because they were way more hardcore, way more raw edge. And then I like the Misfits of today with Michael Graves anyway. So yeah, I only listen to gangster music. Well, I as the king of gangsters and as a smoke-free Snoop Dogg, I would agree with your message. Pennywise, Fuck Authority, Silent Majority, Raised by the System. Now it's time to rise against them. I love Pennywise. Great band. I'm definitely a metal fan. Pink Floyd is a little slow for me. Not really not really not really my style, but do I have ADHD? And yes, I do. In fact, I have it desperately to the point that should I chemically enhance with to have more? No, I should chemically enhance to have way less. But yeah, Pantera, Rage Against the Machine, System of a Down, Disturbed, like them all. Not a huge fan of them all. If you were to look at my metal Spotify list, you would find that, there is the occasional song by like one of them, but you don't find very much of that. In fact, I can probably show you my list. Here's my Metal Believers list. And whoops. We got the Signal Fire from Killswitch Engage, Nothing Left from As I Lay Dying, Trivium, Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, All That Remains. And this is just the basic stuff to kind of kick it off. There's a Pantera song in here. There's a System of a Down song in here. There's a few Slipknot songs. Basically it's a mix. Then every once in a while, A Bullet for My Valentine when I want to feel like a girl. And then the Meshuggah, Static X, and then we get into Black Label Society, Gojira, and then as you go down, it starts to change. Arch Enemy, love Arch Enemy, one of the best bands around. Whitechapel, a lot of Whitechapel in here. Chimera, Soulfly, Shadows Fall, two Metallica songs, Creeping Death and the Four Horsemen, nothing recent. Obituary, Redneck Stomp, Fear Factory. One of my favorite songs right now is from Decapitated. But Devil Driver, Damage Plan, Burn the Priest, which is basically Lamb of God when they were a punk band. The Haunted, In Flames, Five Finger Death Punch. I have one Five Finger Death Punch song in here. More Fear Factory, more Arch Enemy, Ammon Amarth, Vikings, Raise the Shield Wall, Hold the Front Line, Fight to Death. A lot of different stuff here. Westfield Massacre, Alpha Wolf, Thy Art is Murder, Memphis May Fire. It gets pretty heavy as we continue down the Wage War, Bleed From Within. Love Bleed From Within. They got a new CD out, by the way. You should go check that out. Testament, After the Burial, Miss May I, Parkway Drive, Bury Tomorrow, Upon a Burning Body, Fit for an Autopsy, Silosis, Decapitated, Earth Scar. This is one of my favorite songs right now. If you haven't already and you are a metal fan, for the love of Allah or God or whoever that you say, yo, what's up to, Decapitated, Earth Scar is one of the best metal songs around. Bloodbath, Eaton. This is kind of a black metal sort of deep cut sort of song, but more death metal, but just a really good song. So yeah. Do I have ADHD? Yeah, of course I do. So anyway, Binance US spent more than $1 million lobbying politicians in 2023, according to new data provided by Open Secrets, a U.S. nonprofit that tracks political campaign donations. In total, Binance Holding invested $850,000 in 2023, and Binance US $340,000. So are they trying to sway opinion so that they can continue to be in the United States? I think the answer to that is a resounding yes, of course, and obviously they are. That is the goal. That's what they're trying to do. So I would anticipate and think that Binance.us probably going to be around for a good period of time going forward. Now, let's do a real quick over here. We're going to go into Earn. I did pop up Earn already, I think. Earn. And I want to go back here and talk about, you know what? I'm going to save this for just a second, Slot Warrior. Give me 1 second here to finish this up. And then we'll get into it because we'll get into a different view. Grayscale updates their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust agreement for the first time since 2018, because the time is here where Grayscale is about to have the spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, I think they're slow walking it, and I think everybody gets it approved all in the first week of January, as it looks like the SEC is probably going to do. Not only that, it's a good way to kick off the year and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens there. And then Terra Luna Classic, is it going to double? No, I do have some Terra Luna content coming out today where we're going to talk about, will this price action double after the Binance burn? And we're talking about going up to like 3 zeros 25, maybe 3 zeros 2 to have a real kind of kickoff. And I think that Binance is going to have a massive amount of burn coming. I think that we're about to see a significant move in the amount of burn that we see out of Binance, because traffic was way up. And if you didn't last night, I was on the low cap crypto gems and how to find them. If you want to go check that out, you can go check that one out. Also, I'll be on that show going forward for a little bit, Monday through Thursday. We'll see. I don't know if it's meant to be every day or anything like that. I'll let you guys know as it happens. Doing a nightly show is just becoming a lot, so I may scale back just a little bit. So that's the reason that I'm taking this, because it's a little easier to maintain and manage, because I'm not in charge of it, and it's less to get, it's something different and a good way to maybe expand the brand, if you will. But with that being said, let's move on to a better look at the charts right here and get an idea of where the market is going. Now, all of that sell down that just happened just got bought back up, just like that, just got bought back up. So now the question becomes, what is going on with Bitcoin? Bitcoin had this little drop all the way down to 37,443. Now it's all the way back up to 37,700. The question is, can it come up here and test, and can it break through 38,005? Well, if this is any indication, it looks like the answer to that is there's a lot of thirst in this market for a push. So let's get into the lower time frames on liquidations. And you can see here that we just swept that liquidity pool just a little bit right there. Probably should have come down a little bit more. But if that money's just sitting right there, then 38.2 is still in the target. Going to the 12-hour, you can see that again, it did a liquidity sweep. It got a harsh buyback, and the question is there a thirst to come up here and attack these higher pools up in this range up here? So that's what it looks like. That's what we're that's the question that's being asked right now. Or does it reverse, come back down, and do we test the lower 37s right here and start sweeping some of these lower numbers? So that's where the liquidity is. We swept into it. Now the question is, do we sweep our way back up, and do we test this high one more time? So that's the potential or possible move. So we'll see how this plays out. But it could also be that they were not satisfied with what happened right here, and they could come down a little bit lower to try to wreck a few more. There's a lot of shorts out there that they're trying to wreck. There's a lot of longs out here that they're trying to wreck. So it's just a game of wreck each other that's playing out. So we'll see what happens there. Luna Classic is at, and by the way, the new Luna Classic video that I made today posits that we're probably heading to about 1,500 with this next burn that's coming up, as you can see right here. And this is healthy, by the way, even though that's on a slower time frame here. We tested the 50 over here, and we haven't tested the 1. The 200-day SMA. That's actually a fairly decent sign. The problem is that we normally kind of test it quite a bit. If you're looking for a time frame in which we haven't tested it for an extended period of time, you don't really find it. So at best, you could say that maybe this move right here didn't test it, and that was, was a couple days, like 4 or 5 days. Well, we haven't tested it in 5 days right now. So in the short time frame, I'd be a little nervous that there could be a retracement, but it looks like we're getting a strong bounce right now off of the 50. And if we get a strong bounce off of the 50, then that means there would be no lower test, and it would be on to the races. Now, the Binance burn is coming very soon. We're going to get the announcement of it in about 24 hours. So with that being the case, then maybe, just maybe, we're going to be off to the races here, and that'll cause a more parabolic sort of look here for this 200 SMA, maybe get it moving up just a little bit more. And if that happens, then within a couple of days, we come back and retest it with 3 zeros instead of 4 zeros, which is that ultimately that's what we're trying to do. Drop some zeros, add to some price. So I think that that's what's about to happen. USTC is playing out in a sideways sort of pattern here. You might even call it a wedge that's starting to consolidate. We're going to take the fib retracement off because we don't need that one anymore, I guess, at this level. We'll pop that out, and then boom. As you can see right now, we are tightening the bands. When the bands tighten, that usually means that there is a big and significant move getting ready to come. And as you see right here, bands are super tight. It looks like the breakdown is to the bottom, though, early on. So maybe, just maybe, we've got a problem here, but I don't think so, because it looks like it's bouncing off the 50 and might just be breaking out towards that upside. And this could be a fake out, but we don't know until we see the data start to play out. So, and that's what it looks like, and we can't do anything until we really get an idea of what that next step is for Luna Classic. Now, Dogecoin having a little bit of a breakout. Now, if you didn't watch my Doge video from last night, go watch my Doge video, basically talking about Elon Musk going to add Doge into the Everything app. Will he add Doge Chain? Probably not. Doge Chain has really nothing to do with Dogecoin, despite that Doge Chain does use Dogecoin as its gas. It's not really part of that ecosystem, and it's not really part of it. So I don't know that enhances it, but if you're interested, certainly go check it out. Now, let's go check out Earn here real quick. Guys, we talked about Earn a little over a month ago, and I want to go back and show you because I left the chart up at that time. I never took it down, and we were talking about what the price action was and what it was going to do. I don't remember exactly what day, but apparently we were talking about it. And I said it would come down to the 786, and then it would start to move sideways, and then we would see maybe something would happen with it, right? But it's going to take some time, and then we'll see what happens as it takes time. We'll look at what happened. It took some time. It felt like, oh, we got a nice little pump, we got a nice little recovery, and then wham, EARN absolutely went crazy, and we got this gigantic move up here. Now, it has since retraced by a lot. You can see right here, but if you were in back here at the beginning, you are now up on your investment overall. And if you haven't already, go check out EARN. Basically, buy, hold, earn. Again, that to me, that's not a thing that's going to move me to. But it does it's got a reflection thing. So it's doing the same thing that MUSK is doing. We've got reflections that are allowing you to earn along the way. What might be more tokens that could end up having a greater value. So go check that one out. Certainly, if you want to. Also, let's check out Froge, which is pumping right now, and I'm pretty sure that this thing is. Look right here. It started off. Let's go to the day chart. Had a nice little pump in the beginning. Pretty sure in this Poly OX, didn't he start this? This was the one with no promise of anything. Like we have no profit. We don't do anything. Or is that Pond? No, that's Pond. So Froge is just a dog. It's a frog meme that absolutely took off here in the last month. And the rally here, by the way, let's check it out. The rally here was. How do I have a percentage over here? The rally here looks like it was about 13x. So 13x rally on Froge for anybody who ended up being a holder. Market cap 11 million, liquidity 1.25 million. So if you haven't already, go check out Froge, Froge. Contract ends in 8404. And then finally over here, Luna Classic. Now, okay, we did that, Trail Boss. So we got you covered on that. I'm expecting Luna Classic to end up at 15 pretty soon. After a little bit, I mean, there's probably going to be some kind of correction, most probably. And then I think this, in the next couple of hours, as the Asian market wakes up, I think there's going to be a thirst right now. And I think that we're going to see this thing happen, most probably. And if we don't, then I would expect a test of the 200 SMA and adding the zero back. But Luna Classic still in a great position, and the most traded item in all of the Cosmos ecosystem. So that's been that's been a real big. Derek Hines says real punk is government issue. That is correct. That's you're actually going for a deep cut right there. Anyway, so is Luna Classic gonna double? That's the question. I just don't feel it. That doesn't mean that it won't happen. But you have to practically look at market caps and stuff like that, and sentiment, and what is the if it does start to rip, by the way, it will go absolutely crazy. But the market cap right now, 667 million. And when you look at market cap over a longer period of time, like let's say 1 year, then you can see here, like the highest market cap right now is 1.2 billion all time. It was 50 billion over here, but then there was also this moment right here when we had a nice little rip right after the collapse where it went up to 2.7 billion market cap. So and 24-hour volume of 3.83 billion, and no burns by Binance at that point, by the way, which is why I said that the Binance burning is probably going to be significant, because we've had some significant volume for quite a few days here. But it would seem to me that it's going to take a lot to get back up there. I mean, you got to consider that's 4x from where it is right now. So we're going to have to see. And by the way, I think the Asian markets are the ones that are going to decide whether or not this thing is going to rip or whether it's not going to rip. I mean, I think that is the I think that's the thing. So, but we'll see. Anyway, and Maddie B says we have no bedtime anymore. Well, I didn't do one last night because number one, I was going to see Godzilla -1, and then after Godzilla -1, Ben had reached out and asked me to show up on his spaces, and I got to grow my Twitter. I got to grow my X platform. So I figured that was a great opportunity. And we get less than 100 viewers on the nightly show. So, something's got to give at some point, like maybe just scale it back a little bit or something like that. I don't know yet. It's still kind of up in the air. I'm not really 100% certain. By the way, the Dow Jones is ripping. It's up 200 points so far on the day. So I would expect that we're going to probably see a little more capitulation on crypto than what we might expect, because the major flip here on this is when the Dow Jones starts to pump, we might see a little bit of a dump in Bitcoin because people are taking their money out of risk asset and putting it into less risky asset because it's an easy money maker. Or we might just see money start flowing into this market and the whole thing might go crazy. And I know I'm just telling you both sides of the equation, but it's difficult. Right now, we're right in the middle of the announcement. That's volatility. Friday, we got Jerome Powell stepping to the mic tomorrow, and he's going to start talking. So I would think that he's probably going to move the market tomorrow. So it's going to be volatile trading. So be very, very careful. Make sure you set your stop losses I would say tight for right now, because you don't want to get wrecked. You don't want to lose too much, especially with this bull run just being really, really close. And let's see what happens. Now, as far as Luna Classic goes, the rally for Luna Classic probably 5 o'clock tonight. I want to say, because that's when the Japanese market's going to kind of open up. That's when you'll start to see the Australian markets open up, and then you'll see like all of the Asian market wake up. And then there's just a couple of you're going to have a couple of hours right there before we get any notification from Binance. I think that Binance notice usually comes about 7 a.m. my time, so early in the morning over here in the States. So, probably end of day for Binance in the Asian markets. So I got a sense here that we're about to see another big rip on Luna Classic. So I have to say that I think it's muted. And the reason that I think it's muted and it's not going to be as significant as what we would like is just simply because there is so much resistance. This was a level here that we were really trading hard in for a long period of time before the collapse. So I get a sense here that that's going to be a tough resistance. And even if we get, if we get an absolute rip up here and we get a move to like 2000, it's going to end up coming back down. It's going to end up coming back down major. And Alpha says resistance is at 1250. Yes, but it's not like the resistance at 1250 is nothing compared to what it's like at 1500. It was for twice as long. It was way more volatile. There's going to be a lot of profit taking and a lot of people holding in this range right here. Not even close. It's not even close to the same. This is a much bigger region with a much higher traded volume. So if we can bust through this 1250, then the next step at 1500 might be insurmountable. So, but this is going to be the next, if we make a move up, then the next spot is going to be right here at 15. So we'll see what happens there. As far as USTC goes, I really think that's I really think it's done as much as it's going to do for right now, because this was a lot. And it looks like to me, no matter how parabolic this thing has been and how much it goes, it really stands to reason that you've got to test this 200 SMA or get back close to it at some point. Now, it looks like it is moving. Obviously it's starting to kick upwards like this. So it could be that the retest comes back down at 2 cents or something like that. But what I've done so far is I swapped over all of my USTC to Luna Classic. And I did that when USTC was pumping. Now, that Luna Classic pump yesterday, I probably should have flipped it back to USTC right here, but I figured I was going to hold it because I thought USTC's probably got one more pump because now it's burn time. So I figured that we're probably going to get another run here. And if I get another run on Luna Classic, then I'm keeping a couple million on the sidelines, and I'm going to flip that back over to USTC if the price is right, Bob Barker. But for the price to be right, it's going to have to come down into like that 4 cent range or something like that, because otherwise I still think that it's probably coming down to test it 2 one more time at least. Because by the way, that spread, all of the spread stuff that we got going on, all the spread tax and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't happen yet. Like it hasn't, we're really not even at the cusp of it. And we don't have a repeg on test center. There are a lot of things that we would need to see to show like progress that we don't have yet. Now there is a proposal up, by the way, for those of you that are interested, and you probably should be interested in a few of these on station. There is a proposal up right here. So instead of having L1TF as a for hire model, somebody has put up a request here that maybe we just pay for as you need. Now, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this. And the reason I'm not is because, well, let me rephrase that. I might be in favor of this in some fashion, as long as we have somebody who's in charge of, in case something goes catastrophically wrong, or there has to be like somebody steering the ship in some way or stoking a fire, something. There's got to be somebody doing something. So, people are willing to do it for free. Like, I don't trust that. Look, that's all I'm saying. I don't trust that. Monthly compensation model grants developers a consistent sense of financial security. However, it relies on a broad roadmap that might be subject to change as the quarter progresses, which is silly because the original argument was, well, yeah, I mean, you can't just pay somebody for a year because things change all the time. Right. That's why we did it quarterly. And then this guy's like, I'm so attention deficit disordered. I have more ADHD than Bleaves does. So we should do this every 30 seconds or every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like something a little more reasonable. It's crazy, right? Like to me, anyway, to me, it seems like we should have at least a skeleton crew for maintenance, et cetera, just in case something goes wrong. Because remember, not only did we just do this, but when you back out here, we upgraded 2.3. Well, 2.3 was messed up. So what happened? We had to do a sequence mismatch to 2.3.1. And then guess what? There was another mismatch. So now we got to do 2.3.2. So, all of the things that people are like, well, we got to blah, 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 blah. So I would think that we need a little bit more. We need a little bit more as far as people who are willing to do it. And over here, by the way, this is my stack right here that I'm keeping on the sideline, 1.61 million that I'm looking to flip back over into more USTC. So I'm looking for a move in one direction or another to maybe get a favorable pairing. So that's the reason that I was doing it like that for right now. So anyway, if I'm going to vote yes on it, by the way, even though I'm really kind of opposed to it, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. And as far as my stake is a little over 13,000 or 13 million. Yeah, I'm at 13, almost 14 million Luna Classic. So I've earned 4 million Luna Classic in about a year off of the original 1 million. So that's not too bad. I mean, that's a 40% return on the total just by flipping it and doing delegations of some tokens, which is not it. The staking rewards hasn't been a lot. It's 100, 200,000 every once in a while. So there we go. Now let's get back over here and start looking at the overall broader market. $5 billion just came out of the market. God damn, I hate being right, by the way. I absolutely hate being right. Because now what I just said was, well, maybe the market could just like dump because everybody's going to be looking to get into the easy money today. And son of a bitch, what happens? That's exactly what they end up doing. These goddamn Jeets, I swear. It's By the way, if your name just happens to be Pajit or something like that, I didn't mean any of that. But anyway, so we tested the 200 SMA on the 1 hour, which should be a move back to the upside. We're going to come back in here into the midline of the Bollinger Bands. It looks like, because it seems like we're eating it up right now. We come to the midline, we'll make a move over, and then we'll do a test up to 38,000, and then probably make a play up here. Now, we're going to have to get higher than where we are right now. And listen, anybody who tells you, well, we can't do that because we got rejected here, they don't know shit because this market can do whatever this market wants to do. So it could be that we're looking at this move. It could be later in the day, though, by the way. Remember, around noon, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, that's when the market gets one of the really weird, that's where the market gets really odd. And when the market gets really odd, you never know what's going to happen. Now, when I say that, what I do mean is we could go up 1,000 points in just a one sweep. And the reason that we could is because that liquidity pool is sitting up here all the way through. And this is where it matters, right there. And that goes up into a pretty good range of 38,700. So the possibility exists that we do a big liquidity sweep up into that range if we get a little bit of wind behind the sails, so to speak. Now, the other part to it is there's also a lot sitting down here at the bottom. Now, right now, we're ranging in between. Where's the money is the question. And if you kind of look right here, the money is down here. That's the easier path. But they don't always take the easier path. So 1 o'clock today, roughly speaking, at a guess, is where you're probably going to see something start to happen. It doesn't mean that it'll finish. It doesn't mean that move will break out or anything like that. And by the way, we are in a prime position right now for a test of this long-standing trend line. So we could also see an immediate sell-off that just wicks us all the way down to 37,001 and puts us in this position here, because if you come down here, then it makes sense that you would go to 37,001 because that's right here. And there's still plenty of liquidity just kind of sitting there waiting to get wrecked. This is a bunch of longs that are sitting in position that will get liquidated at these spots. So that's a great opportunity for the nasty bear to come in and steal some money. And that looks like that looks like what I would expect to see kind of play out on this chart. On the other hand, it also looks like we're still trending off of this move here. And we've got, I mean, basically, you could look at it this way and say, well, we've kind of got this parallel channel forming. We broke out of it a couple times. We haven't been able to test it properly, but we've got this channel forming, and we're coming off of this big move, which makes it it's a bullish flag indicator to tell us that we probably have some upside. Now, the question is always, if you follow Luna Classic, then you know what my answer to this is going to be already. It really depends on how far down we go into this channel, how far the breakout is to the top, because it could be that we just break out to where we were before and not above it because we don't have the strength, because something changes the market dynamics or something like that. So I'm expecting 38,700 today. So I would say that we're going to have a rip up into this range at some point today. And then we're going to have a move to this range as well. I think that this is going to be one of those days like this right here where it gets real volatile. And in fact, if you're like, well, that's a lot of movement. Well, look, it's the same range as what we do when we have our big moves. And every few days over here, in case you're not paying attention, we have those moves. We have them up, we have them down. We have them up, we have them down. Like, it keeps doing it. It keeps doing it and doing it and doing it. So that's what I say is probably this is what the market says. This is what it reads. And I know that this is the day where you just got the month over month PPI, and then tomorrow you're going to get Jerome Powell stepping up to the mic doing his spitting spaghetti and mom's shit and whatever Eminem talks about. So you could see that happen. And then also Ethereum is not holding up very well by comparison. When you look at Ethereum, you saw Batman play out over here. Remember, I was joking about Batman, and I'm like, it's weird that we're getting this correction because we're getting this correction back up. But really, this Batman should probably play out to the downside. Well, son of a bitch, it ended up playing to the downside. And now it's forming again, but kind of in reverse. So it could be that indicators are all crazy right now. It's all telling me wild stuff. But here's the important part. When you look at the chart on the 1 hour, which is a good trade chart, by the way, you just rejected off the 50 and you're coming back down to the low, this is one of your volume areas. And then you got to get above this. And it doesn't look like we have the appeal right now. Like it looks like Ethereum is just weak. And there's not as much interest. And it could be that it's because all the interest is in Solana, which has been doing pretty well. that the interest is turning to Matic, which is starting to do well. As you come down, Rune is just absolutely killing it. So, there's all these different ones that are taking some of the shine off of Ethereum right now, as it kind of ranges, and Mina Protocol starting to rip back up after having a collapse back down a couple days ago. So money going back into other alts instead of Ethereum. And so I would say that the likeliest scenario is this move right here, quick win. And then we'll, it'll look like we'll have this rip down here. And that's what it's looking like. I mean, it kind of looks like it's happening right now, right? Then we get the bounce, and then we get the retest, and then we get the secondary, and then we're off to the races. And that's when we come back up here and test one more time to see if we can break that resistance. Because once we break that resistance, it is game on for Bitcoin. Remember, we're ranging around here at 37,000, and that's crazy for us 6 months ago. Now, as far as the rest goes, Promethean Prodigy is up 22% on the day. Ben is having a nice little reversal at 10% for 1256. WAGMI still staying right in this upward sort of trajectory right now. Again, I'm looking for a dip back down into the range here. We haven't yet had a test at 5. We haven't had a test at the 618. We haven't had a test at the 786. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens here. Could, by the way, just continue on. It could be, but it's got a pretty big pool. So 43 million market cap already, 1.76 million in liquidity. More liquidity, by the way, than Grok has, with 1/4 the market cap. Just that you guys should know how math works by this point. You should know what a scam token is. Volt down to 27.36. Saitama had a nice little reversal back up to 1,000. Cytochain, a lot of people are excited about Cytochain. So we'll see what happens. Bone still in that 61 range. Look, if Bone stays in 61 for much longer, it's coming down even further. I didn't think I would say that. I thought that we would get a rip back and a reversal, but it's not happening. And speaking of ripping and reversal, I don't have anything to segue into this. So here's an ad for you. Cryptonomy.finance is what you need. Cryptonomy Ventures right now, they support forward-thinking entrepreneurs and propel the crypto Web3 ecosystem forward, supporting Cryptonomy's mission to empower global economic freedom. If you are interested in this, then click Get Funding, and then you can get started right away. Previously, we talked about our flexible spending, and we were going to make some deposits. So I'm going to make a few deposits right here. We're going to do Bitcoin. I'm going to throw, let's do it. Why not? And we're going to do 12-month staking. 76.9% is the fixed rate. Now, in the event that you want to enable monthly interest, we do this right here. That changes the dynamic here to 56%. I don't need it, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to hit continue here. And I'm going to agree to the terms and conditions, and we're going to go ahead and stake that. Let's stake a little bit with Quant right here. We're going to use ETH because I've got a little bit of ETH on the sideline over here. We're going to use our max ETH 1.29. We're going to put that in for another 12 months on Quant as well. Go. Let's pop in here on some Tether Gold and see what happens there. We've got a little bit of XRP in the wallet. Let's convert a little bit of XRP over here into Tether Gold right now. We're going to pop that in right now. Read the terms and conditions, and we are done. All right, now we're gonna pop in a Tether here. We got 4,300 bucks in Tether. We're gonna pop in max right here, 59.6%. Now you might be noticing the percentage right there is not as great. Well, this is a stable coin, so the rate of return on that was going to be just a little bit less. We're gonna hit continue on that one. Boom. We are now holding Tether as well. So we've got a whole bunch over here. Now we're going to come over here. I'm going to hit refresh right here. These are all my holdings right now. I've got a little bit staked. You saw me do that before. Put a little bit in here before. Much better on XRP, Ethereum, and then, of course, this is in the fixed rate category, but very good rates right there. You can see that those are some really, really juicy rates. Finally, over here, if you want the big returns right here, it is all about the Launchpool. So if you haven't already, go check out the Launchpool. Launchpool's got some great returns, great yields. All you have to do is create a contract. The investments are going to start paying themselves off. So Cryptonomy is a really good staking platform, guys. You should definitely check that out if you've got capital on the side and you are holding on to some crypto. But somebody made a comment in here about the Philippines. Duterte, who is no longer in charge, is now Bongbong Marcos, the son of Ferdinand Marcos, is they still have the death squads. So they still run around. Like, you can't say, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, Binance was kicked out of the Philippines for not properly registering the other day, but having advertisements was what was going on. So, but yeah, they've been banned from the Philippines as of right now. And look, Philippines does not mess around. They have death squads that go around. And if you do drugs or you get caught with drugs and stuff like that, they just execute you on the spot. There's no judge, jury, and executioner. So I'd be very careful. If I were Binance messing around in the Philippines right now. But also, guys, I do want to say, if you haven't, I've got some stuff coming out on Avoc Pay in the next couple of days. The owners of Avoc Pay just met with some big wigs. And when I say big wigs, I'm not sure if I'm quantifying it. I'm not sure if I'm quantifying it the right way, but what I want to say is, and I can't get into too much, but there are some fascinating things that are potentially happening for Avoc Pay. So if you haven't checked it out right now, again, I'm never telling you what to invest in. I'm never telling you I'm telling you to do your own research. And what I'm doing right now is being purposely vague with you, so that you can find out and you can kind of check it out for yourself. But Avenida Crypto, Avoc Pay, launched like over a year ago at 1 cent. It's still at 1.1 cent right now. Went up to 15.54 not that long ago. As you can see over here, people are making money trading on it just a little bit. And it does happen from time to time. But, you get these good, strong buybacks like this just happened over here. And they don't really have these guys have been very, very quiet because they've got something very, very big working, and that is ATM machines in El Salvador and Argentina. And they've met with some people in a few of the other Spanish-speaking countries, and they've got there's some real opportunity here. And this is one of those things where, we may not talk about it every day. We may not say anything about it all the time, but Avoc Pay, probably when this market sort of, and by the way, because of what they're about to do, I don't think it takes market reversal. I think this thing will just run on its own, simply because in these Spanish speaking communities, they're going to know who Avoc Pay is. And they're not leaning into the American community, by the way, which is why we won't see a whole lot, but neither is Pundi X. Pundi X has 130 million market cap, and that's their competitor. This has a 1.72 million market cap. So it would be fair to say that the value on this, as soon as they launch these actual items that are about to launch and do what they're about to actually do, I mean, it wouldn't be unreasonable to expect that this thing like 50Xs or 60Xs, I don't think, and gets into like the 50 to 100 million market cap simply because of what it has that it's working on. And then that changes the dynamic of the entire thing. And it's a revenue generator. The thing about this is it's not just a fun degen play or anything like that. It is an actual revenue generator. Just imagine this. Imagine that you're invested in a company that has ATMs in El Salvador where you can cash out your Bitcoin for cash. Whatever the cash is, or you can cash out whatever pesos or dollars you have into real world currency if you need from your crypto wallet at an ATM machine. That's what we're talking about when we talk about Avoc token. And these guys have got partnerships and deals with a lot of people, and they're already Spanish speaking. So a lot of these guys, they find it easier to navigate these markets than you would if you were Indian. So a lot of weird and cool stuff that is probably going to happen over the next bunch of months with Avoc Pay. And I'm here for it. Let me tell you, even if I don't have, by the way, I was paid to make a video, and I'm make a couple more videos. After that, I'm going to continue being a holder of this for a long time because I have an idea here that this is one of those crazy plays that comes out of nowhere, that does things that we don't expect. So that's why I'm talking to you about it right now. I'm not paid. I'm actually not paid. It's not part of my plan here. to talk about it during my live streams and stuff like that. I just happen to like it, and I feel like I should mention it a couple times to people. But that's my time. This is not financial advice. My name's Bleav. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you that you take the time to come over and check me out during the course of the day while I'm over here ranting and raving about cryptocurrency. It does not fall on deaf ears. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. If you haven't already, consider becoming a member in the members only channel. Join is right down here. $4.99 a month. You can pay up to $99 a month. I don't give you anything special for $99 a month, but you can do that because you love me and you support me, and there are some people that do that. So I thank you so much, each and every one of you. And this is not financial advice. My name's Bleav. I am always right, and we will talk to you again very, very soon. We got Luna Classic content coming out today. And then if you're a fan of the Chicago Bears, then I do have a Chicago Bears. It's called the Chicago Bears Cast, and I've got some Chicago Bears content coming out. We're talking about Matt Eberflus today, Ryan Poles, and we're talking about whether Luke Getsy is going to stay. And we'll talk to you again very, very soon. It wasn't that.
I can read a chart like Superman, and I've got a show that has a lot of fans. I'm streaming every day and almost every night, and I bought some Bitcoin because I see the light. They call me I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Bleav. They call me Bleav. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you. I build a crypto channel with a YouTube stream and all of the YouTube shillers. I'm in a dream, but I stay up late to give my views. And I stay up late just to give you guys the news. Yeah. They call me Bleav. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Bleav. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you. Yeah, I don't know what to do because my memberships are missing you. They call me Bleav. I'll break a crypto down for you.